I'd like to welcome to this stage now former Regional Councillor and Ngāti Whakao representative Raewyn Bennett, without whom this project probably wouldn't have landed with dollars in the long-term plan. So, kia ora whai.
Ngāti whānei ngā karangatanga hapu, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou. So I believe that my invitation to speak was to have me contribute to the full story of how today came about. And so I accepted on that basis. But my other agenda was to start the process of handing over to the next generation as they prepare for their kaitiakitanga responsibilities. So makatu tamariki I mean you. So here it is. I was one of 3 Māori elected to the first designated Māori council seats in Aotearoa. I was the Maua Māori councillor on the Regional Council from 2004 to 2013. I was the only woman on council in that first term. I thought I was going to be part of a progressive, empowering, anti-colonial change group. Given this council had established these Māori seats, I was looking forward to being able to change the world. It turned out to be a lonely place. On the one hand, I had Māori expecting me to deliver at the drop of a hat, and on the other hand, I had conservative, anti-Māori seats resistant councillors who were not averse to telling me how that. There were 2 councillors who were really supportive of me at that stage. I soon realised that the only way I could be effective, because I had considered throwing in the towel, was to work really hard and demonstrate my ability to be an informed and effective councillor. I also owed it to the people that had established those Māori seats to hang in, and I acknowledge the late Maureen Waka especially. Working hard and proving myself is probably a formula many other Māori have to adopt in political institutions. There was no way I was going to be assimilated, which was the other option. It was a lonely place I have to advise in my first year. It was really hard work. It was the worst pay I have ever had. I came to enjoy the wines after a long council session. I also took that opportunity to have discussions with some of those resistant councillors, which ended up, honestly, in mutually respectful relationships. I also acknowledge I enjoyed working with competent and intelligent councillors and staff alike, but it was extremely hard work. I want to acknowledge the valuable advice I got from some of the councillors. The late Brian Restro from Opotiki was very supportive, Councillor Ethel Herbert and John Cronin were encouraging. But my most strategic advice came from Bill Bayfield, who was the CEO who replaced the former CEO that Makatu people had a long history of dealing with, so they will know who I'm talking about. There were several key Māori environmental issues that I had to attend to and was part of achieving, and some I can never publicly reveal in case I get my helpers into trouble. I'm quietly proud of them. It was Bill Bayfield who suggested a Makatu estuary strategy as a start towards getting the river back and to get councillors on board, and who also suggested that Papahikawa could be leased by council, restored and therefore aid in cleaning up the estuary. Eventually, building on this strategy, after several years we came to the point the council had to make a decision on whether to divert the river or not. At that time it was a $7 million commitment. I had 3 Māori councillor votes and I needed 4 more. So it was crunch time. Well, I got the 7. Mary Ann McLeod, when she became CEO and I was no longer a councillor, she told me that my hard work as a councillor had subsequently aided in getting another $7 million. and she also acknowledged Pim's part in that advocacy. Pim. Koina, here we are today. I need to stress this diversion, and its now $16 million commitment, was not a treaty settlement. It was the Bay of Plenty Regional Council who funded this totally. They did not need to, so I need that fact to be part of the story today. And I just want to add something else about other iwi. I don't know if they're represented here today, but I do acknowledge that most of the funds that Regional Council is able to commit to these sorts of projects comes from the Port of Tauranga and then is on the back of the mamae held by our relations over there. Turning now to Makatu Kura and our future tamariki. In 1991, at the time of the Makatu action preparing for the first attempt to get our river back, our kuia Pia Kerr said, "I was born in Makatu, I breathe the water of the Kaituna, I eat the food in the Kaituna, and you came along," she's talking to the planning tribunal, "and took the river away. You took our food basket, which was an asset to New Zealand. It was one of the taonga. It is a cheat that we should ask for a water right when they took our river away without asking us, the people of Makatu." I want you to think about that and all the implications of that statement as you take over the reins from us. Your school charter refers rangatiratanga, manaakitanga, kaitiakitanga. In that statement are representations of all those values. And Auntie Pia's statement is a representation of all your charter values. You have a hard road ahead, tamariki. You need to become politicians, scientists, planners, engineers, hydrologists, researchers, ecologists. And you must be prepared to raise your consciousness, decolonise, be passionate about your environment and the need to ensure you pass on a healthy taiao to generations beyond you. Remember, a dollar will never ever be able to compensate the loss of something created by Ranginui and Papatūānuku, and which you therefore whakapapatū. Today is Makatu's Day. To the ahi kā whānau who never gave up. It's a small step towards paying our debt to Papatūānuku, Ranginui and Tangaroa, to Ngātaroirangi, to the birthplace of the Te Arawa Nation. Koina.